Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have another acrylic nail tutorial because my nails cannot be looking like this any longer. And I thought, why not film another nail tutorial for you guys, because you have loved my last two videos on this. And before we get on into this video any further, I want to clarify that I am not an expert, and I feel like that's why you guys like these videos so much, is because I literally buy everything off Amazon. Everything's cheap. I do this from home to save money, and I have no professional experience. And I know I get some criticism on how I do my nails just because I'm nowhere near like a pro level, but I know you guys love seeing these tutorials and find it easy to follow along, so that's why I keep on doing these videos. But if you do have any advice, please leave it in the comments down below. Just please be nice in the comments because, like I said, I am a beginner. So yes, welcome to episode 3. I have my tea here because this does take me a little bit. On average, it takes me around 2, sometimes 3 hours depending on the design. So get a snack, set up your little setup on your desk and follow along with me if you plan to. I'm gonna walk you through how I prep my nails, how I do the acrylic, how I install the fake nails because clearly we don't have long nails right now, and how I do the gel design coat and everything like that. If you like these types of videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I'll definitely be doing more of these, and yeah, let's just get on into it. I have accumulated quite the nails at home setup. This is everything I own. As you can see, we have the nail light. Also, my mom used to be a hairstylist, so she has like one of those nail or hair licenses to certain places. So some of these things I got from like that nail distributor store, and so everything linked down below, if it's not the exact thing, is something very similar. I have everything from like the e-file. All of this I bought off Amazon, and it was around like $100 up front, but like this lasts you forever. And I haven't needed to restock anything besides the monomer, like nail polish remover, like just things like that. Or if I like a certain polish, I'll buy a new one. But I've been using a new base coat and new top coats since the last time I did this. I got new ones off Amazon. These are really cheap, but I find them really good. It's like one of those non-sticky top coats. But I'm gonna lay out everything. Also, it's partly cloudy out today, so I'm sorry if the lighting keeps going back and forth between this and like what it was earlier. The sun just keeps coming in and out of my window, and it's so annoying because I know it's going to switch between this entire video and I can't control it, but I'm just gonna say it right now. I don't even know why I'm even telling you guys this. It's like something I feel like I only care about, but yeah. Also, since I'm going to be doing it on my wooden desk right here, you want to make sure that it's protected. These chemicals are very strong and your desk will look like this if you don't protect it. I usually like to use like an old like washcloth I don't really care about, and then also a bunch of paper towels. As of right now, my nails actually have gel on them. It's just like a basic color and top coat, but it needs to come off before we do this. So since I'm very lazy and don't really want to soak these in a bowl of acetone until they peel off, I'm going to use my e-file just to lightly file off this layer. This is why I'm not a professional, because normally you should be soaking your nails so you don't damage them, but I feel like I have a pretty good feel of like how far and how much my nails can take with this e-file. But you really want to be careful with this. If you're young, really be careful with this and have parent supervision, because when I first started using this, I was cutting up my nails so much. My nails were paper thin. I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, I'll get back to you guys once I set up my desk and I'm ready to prep my nails. Okay, I just did my setup. I plugged in my little e-file. My method for this though is just to take my most heavy duty nail file. This one has a really thick grain on it, and I'm just gonna basically file off the top part of my nail here where the gel is. Usually if I'm starting a nail set and I don't have any color on it from like a previous set, I'll just start doing my nails with this first. I'll just go over the e-file just to get off that natural shine, and that way everything that you put on your nail, like the chemicals, the acrylic, all of that will absorb better in your nails. This is technically the first step. Ignore the fact I'm filing off an old set right now. Okay, it's a little bit later. I actually am using the acetone to soak off my nails since the filing method was kind of taking a little bit. I'm also using this cuticle pusher tool to help like scrape it off like this. Just trying to get like the smaller chunks off. There you go. There's definitely a more efficient way to do this, but this is just how I do it. Okay, my first hand is completely done. As you can see, there's no more gel on it. So I'm immediately gonna go in with this cuticle pusher tool and then just push the cuticles back. It's so hard for me to do this because I don't know why, it just makes me like so nauseous, but the results are so worth it. you're just gonna push back your skin essentially. And it like extends your nail bed, but this is also completely optional. Like you really don't have to do this. I just like the way it looks more. And after you push this all back, you're gonna eventually cut off the skin, which is so gross too. Now they're all pushed back and you can kind of see a line of that skin there. So now you're gonna take your clippers and you're gonna cut off that skin. And you have to be so careful not to cut yourself because I've done that so many times. Just cut that part of skin that you lifted up. I don't like that. Ew, that is so gross. Oh, and I accidentally cut myself. Oh, I spoke too soon. As you can see, there's just now more room on the nail bed essentially. That's what that does. Now I'm basically gonna repeat these steps on my other hand right now and I'll get back to you guys in a second. The nails are all completely ready to go. They look atrocious. I mean, this one actually doesn't look that bad. The left hand will always look better, so this one's a little bit... She got a little cut up along the way. I also trimmed my nails a little bit because we're now gonna get into doing the fake nails. These are the nail extension tips, but if you're comfortable with the length of your nails right now, you can just skip this step and immediately go straight into the acrylic and then the color. These are the nail tips that I like to use. There's two different types. I quickly realized I don't really prefer the ones where it's like the entire nail. So I now use these ones, which are just the tips. I don't know if you can see. And a tip so you don't have to measure them every single time you put them on. The first time you do it, just write down the sizes of your nails in order of what number goes on which hand. That way you don't have to like measure them every single time. So I'm now gonna pick out the nails. And then this is the glue that I use. This was like a 5-pack off Amazon. And I remember when I used to get my nails done, this KDS glue was the exact one that my nail tech used to use. And you can buy it on Amazon. I'm also gonna go in with this primer, and this is just like a dehydrator, I think, for your nails. I definitely notice a slight difference with how long my nails last if I don't put this on. When I do all the prep correctly and take my time through this nail set usually lasts me like 2-ish, 3 weeks sometimes. I don't really have a method when it comes to putting on these fake nails. I kind of just put a little bit of glue. Oh, this one's out. In this moment, I realized all of my nail glue hardened because I haven't done my nails in so long, which led to this tutorial having a lot of issues along the way. How would this like work? Guys, there's literally nothing coming out of this. I'm looking in here and I think all of the glue just solidified. I found a way because I always find a way. I have one on. I would not recommend this method, but I do have this glue right here. It's really gross, but this is the Beetles Gel Polish Rhinestone Glue. And now I'm dipping the nails in it and putting it under the UV light to cure, and it's actually really, really strong. The only annoying thing is that the glue is quite literally so liquidy and it doesn't harden until you put it under this light right here. Dipping it in the nail glue right here. I'm trying to wipe it off too because this stuff gets kind of bulky. It's almost like molding gel. I should not be using this to put on the fake nail tips, but I don't really have any other option because I want my nails done now. I'm gonna hold it and try to keep it underneath the light. Time to clip these. Now, when you clip them with your nail clippers, you want to make sure you leave extra space, more than like what you would actually want to cut off. Because it's really easy to file it down to the size that you actually want, but it's not easy for you to cut them super short and then want them longer. Trust me, I've learned it the hard way. I usually like to cut it here, like half. And then I also like to do this, where I just kind of like cut them in a pointy triangle. I feel like this really expedites the process of when I use the nail files. Here's what they look like. So now, this is gonna take a while. I hate this process, but you're basically gonna just like file it on the sides and around. So I like to go like this, and then like this on the other side. I'm really bad at explaining things, you're gonna find out. You guys can just kind of watch along as how I do this, but I'm basically just like filing the sides of the nails, like, and then going around lightly around the tip, because you don't want to like make these too short off the bat already. I also like to file the nail down itself and get rid of that shiny coating so you can really tell what it looks like on your nail. And like I said, with that glue that we used, since it's the wrong glue and it's super lumpy because this glue doesn't dry flat since it's rhinestone glue and molding gel, I need to also file it down like this. Make sure it's all flat for when that acrylic goes on it next. As you can see, it's like a beautiful diamond shape. And I'm basically gonna do this to all the other nails. I'll walk you through one more. Oh no, this one fell off. That wouldn't have not happened if I used nail glue. I'm gonna do the other one here just to show you guys. Oh my god, are they all gonna come off? When doing this, I also like to use this file file. It's like this buffered file. It has different types of grains on each side. I like to use the fine one on top. This also kind of just helps like file down that nail a little bit in a more gentle way. Here's what that one's looking like. Anyways, I guess I'm gonna get back to you once I hopefully can file through all these nails without any of them coming off. This is not how I planned to do this video, but the show must go on. Oh my gosh, you guys, I finally finished my nails. Also, sorry if it's loud outside. I had to crack a window because the chemicals were getting a little too strong in here for my liking. I don't know if I mentioned that in this video, but like if you're gonna do this at home, make sure you have a good ventilated room or area that you're doing this in. Anyways, here's what the nails look like. I really want to get the acrylic on them now though, before one of them pops off again. Have them all filed. And also one of my tips, if you want to make sure they're like the same length, I always like to go like this, and I like to see if they're like the same length. I like doing this so that not one nail is longer than the other, and so I know which ones to shorten. But yeah, let's get this acrylic on. For acrylic, we're gonna get one of these glass thingies. This is also why I had to crack a window, because we're gonna pour the monomer in this glass, and this monomer stuff smells so bad. It's like really, really strong chemicals. So we're gonna put a little bit here, like that. And then the acrylic powder I'm going to be using today is this one from Mia's Secret. I heard that if you have like the same monomer and like acrylic powder brand and it's all cohesive, that should work the best. This one's clear. You can get them in different colors. And then this is the acrylic brush that I'm using. This is also from Amazon. I like to keep it in its original packaging because I don't know how else to store it. But you want to make sure that like there's no acrylic in here. Like every time you use it and before you put it away, you want to make sure it's completely clean. And the way you clean it is by using this type of liquid. I'm also going to use a bit of toilet paper or a napkin. We're out of paper towels, so I'm using toilet paper. I like to fold it up like this and have a little pad here. This is what you're gonna wipe your brush on. The way you do this, I'm gonna try so hard to show you guys, but you're gonna like dip the brush in here a little bit, drag your brush through this powder. It will turn into a bead on here. And then you wanna put it on your nail. And then before you go and swipe in and do it again for another bead, you're gonna always wanna like go like this on the napkin, back and forth. That way you always maintain a clean brush and also this type of angle, like this. It's the easiest to work on when it looks like this shape. So for the first one, you're gonna like take your brush here, and I like to go back and forth like this to once again maintain that shape. You don't want to have too much liquid, or you don't want to have too less liquid. You don't want your bead to be super dry, but you also don't want it to be too wet and runny, because then you can't mold it. The only way I feel like to get better at it is just to practice. But anyways, now that this is damp, I'm gonna drag it through my powder, and as you can see, that the powder is solidifying on the brush, and you kind of have to act quickly, but you're gonna put it on your nail like this. Okay, see, and this is slightly too dry. So once again, cleaning, getting some more liquid to then mold it. I also like to work in smaller sections. I know a lot of people like to do one big main bead and then mold it onto your finger and then that's it. But I feel like what works best for me is to do like the super small beads and like kind of layer the acrylic as I go. I feel like I like it a little bit more like thin. So here's another one. But this is better, yeah. Shape it and spread it out on the finger evenly and then up to the top. You want to put the bead here basically in the middle, and then kind of spread it out and fade it to the top. You want the acrylic to be concentrated in the ball of like your fingernail, because you want it to look like this from the side profile. You want it to go up and over and down. If it's like a bump up here, then it looks really, really unnatural to have like a big thick bump at the top of your nail. Like you want it to taper out at the bottom here. Lift right where your nail would naturally lift up. Because you also don't want it to be too flat like this. See how I filed this one too flat and then this nail's kind of slightly going upwards? So we're gonna fix it with the acrylic by putting a bead here and then having it taper down. You don't want your nails to look super wonky. That's how I feel like you can tell that they're kind of fake. Anyways, let's go and do another one. So here's another bead, and we're gonna put it on this one. See how I kind of like to keep it at the middle of the nail here and then wipe my brush and then spread it out. That way it's kind of like concentrated in the middle, and that way I don't have too much acrylic at the end or at the top of the nail. And you always want to make sure that brush is clean once again. That's why I keep running it through this paper right here so many times. Okay, let's do another one. This is a big bead, and we're gonna do it here. And I like to usually mold it on the sides like this. The last thing I usually do is like blend that middle section. Like you always want to leave that for last so it like stays lifted. I think that one actually turned out really, really well. No, it didn't. Okay. I do need to fix this. Bump is kind of towards the end of my nail and not here. It's super easy to fix. All what you have to do is just basically take your nail file and go like this and file down like towards the end right here. And when you do that, it kind of fixes the top bump here a little bit. It does dry and solidify, so like try to work fast because once this does harden on your nail, like you can't warm it back up and reshape it. Like it becomes really, really hard on your nail. Okay, I basically just finished the first layer of acrylic on this hand. Like if you missed a spot here, or if it's kind of spotted up at the top here and there's nothing covering it, feel free to do this. Like just grab a little bit and then like put it where you need it to. Like in this corner, sometimes I miss the corners. And if I'm not happy with how these look right off the bat, like I said, I'll take a nail file and really file it, but I'm gonna get back to you once I do the other hand. We finally have finished the base of this entire manicure, which is the acrylic and the fake nails, but I'm gonna sharpen them up just slightly. I just like to take a nail file and just lightly file around the edges because I feel like sometimes they lose the shape when I put that acrylic powder on. But this is what I was talking about, like that one filing method. File it this way, so that way it slants down, and then also do the sides as well. When you file the sides of it, it kind of concentrates the middle part to still be raised, creating that illusion that you did do the bead correctly, but you don't want to like file down the middle of the nail here. Like that will just make the shape look really, really weird and super flat. And you don't want a flat nail. I feel like that's what really gives it that like salon look, is like when the shape is correct. Anyways, now it's time to finally get onto the color, which is I think my favorite part. I'm gonna switch my setup and I'll be right back. Now we're getting into a little bit of a cozy vibe. But now that I have my nails ready, I'm leaning towards either this one, like red and white polka dots, or do I challenge myself and do a complex design? This one has a bunch of different designs. I think I'm leaning towards this one. I just think that they're so cute and really, really fun. The white I'm gonna be using is this one from Gelish. I'm gonna link a similar one down below on Amazon, but this is the one I got at that store that my mom has the license to. I'm also going to use this as a base coat. I really need all the extra strength I can get. And this is also that non-stick top coat, which I really, really like. For the dark red, I got this all from Amazon. It was like really, really cheap, I remember. I'll link the same exact one I have down below, but it's like 30 different colors. They're really small, but like that's kind of all what you need, especially if you do a lot of designs. Jodestone, I think that's the name of the brand. And they have these two colors. So I think I'm leaning towards B22 is kind of what I want. I have this one, but I feel like this is too cherry red. Like it's too bright tomato-y, and I kind of want it to be more of a burgundy color. Also, I'm setting my thing for 60 seconds, this lamp. The thumb was that red tip with white dots on it. When I do the nail tips, this is normally how I do it. I usually get a thin, small little brush like this. It would take forever to use this small brush, so I usually use the brush of the actual polish at first, just to get the base layer on there. This pinky nail is also going to be fully red. Oh wow, I just forgot to do the base coat. And then back to this nail, we're going to use this small little brush. And now we're going to cure these. And I personally like to do 2 coats of color, that way it really pops. Sometimes when you only put 1 coat on, it looks kind of see-through or translucent. So we're going to do another coat of this just to really lock it in. I'm also going to put on that base coat real quick on the other nails since I forgot to. So now let's do the second coat of red. That really just makes, I feel like, the biggest difference. Okay, here's what they're looking like. I'm now gonna put on the polka dots. I'm gonna use the Gelish, like I said earlier, and then I'm gonna be using this tool here. This came in like a pack of other ones here, and this is like, I think the smallest dotting tool. I feel like the size of it doesn't really matter though. It's more about how much you put on it. What I like to do is take this out and then lay the brush down here, and we're just gonna like spot it. That's really, really cute. I'm gonna immediately cure this though, so it doesn't move around. I'm also immediately going to put that top coat on there, so those are sealed and done. Okay, you guys, I just finished 2 of the nails. Now we're gonna basically do this again, but on this finger and then this finger here. Storage is full. Oh no, god, I hope I got that. Okay, wait, I'm realizing all of my phone footage, it's like focused on my freaking hair and you can't see what I'm doing. Okay, I feel like you can see this a lot more and I'm gonna try to walk you guys through it. So these are basically done. We need to do 2 coats on this. This is just 1 coat. We're gonna take the white again. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now that's the 2nd coat on those 3 nails and we're gonna let this cure again. Also, it's so obvious, but I have a huge bump of acrylic underneath that pointer finger. That's why you wanna file that out because that looks so bad, but it's whatever. Now we're gonna do the red spots. This is how I did the white spots here, but you couldn't see that. So I took this daughter tool right here. I placed the brush right here and then I grabbed some of the paint and then you just use the dotting tool here. It's okay if some of them are uneven, you can go back in and like fix them. Then I'll usually take more and kind of just like circle around them. And with this one, this was a red bow. Normally how I do bows is that I usually do the outer parts first. So I'll use my red brush, take some on that brush here, and then I'll do like an infinity loop. Once you have your infinity loop, you're gonna take more paint and then do 2 lines that drag down. And then for the last step, I like to take my dotting tool and then put 1 big dot in the middle here. Now I'm gonna put the top coat on these 3 nails. No freaking way, I forgot to cure this. Thankfully, we cured the bottom part, so we're just basically gonna wipe this off and do this over again. I feel like everything is going wrong right now. I'm going to add a quick little pearl though right here. So we're gonna get some rhinestone glue. This is the glue that I used to put on my acrylics, but clearly don't use that because it doesn't stick. And we're just gonna get the tiniest little pearl. Okay, you guys, this is taking a lot longer than I thought. I'm almost at hour 4 of doing this, but I just finished my first hand. This one I still have to do, and now I'm trying to figure out what to do with this broken nail, which I'm also kind of pissed off about because my nails seem to not be holding with my makeshift glue idea. So I'd highly recommend getting nail glue before you do this and not trying to substitute that by any means. But honestly, I'm so obsessed with how this design came out to be. This is honestly one of my favorites. I think that the polka dots are really cute, and I like how I added a little pearl detail where that bow is. I feel like it just cleans it up a lot better. Now I'm gonna do the other hand and fix whatever this is, and I'll get back to you guys later. I feel like I'm getting slightly delirious from all the chemicals in my room right now, and I'm also getting kind of tired because it's almost 7 p.m. and I started this I think at 3. I'll check in with you guys after. You guys, I think these are my favorite nails yet. We're now gonna put on some cuticle cream. This is my favorite one from L'Occitane. This will just give that moisture back. Even though this took me like 4 or 5 hours to do, I think it was 100% worth it. Since the reason why these took so long is just because I didn't have real glue. It just also makes me realize that these are not gonna last that long, which is so sad. I'm definitely ordering a restock of glue on Amazon right now. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. As chaotic and horribly wrong it kind of went, at least the outcome is still so cute. If you watched all the way up to the end, comment down below the secret emoji and also follow me on Instagram at kkatelyndewitt_. I would really appreciate it. I've been posting so much on there. I'm literally gonna post an Instagram story right now of these nails. I also have my Pinterest board linked down below. It's called Nail Inspo. And yeah, subscribe if you want to. I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys all very soon. Bye!